Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Fisherman's Bay and it's under the command of talon1958. And he sent me this replay just recently. And well, considering I actually had one myself last night, or an M44 game, I thought, well, I'd do a double header with both vehicles in. Well, it appears that Wargaming have screwed up the sound again with the 1.12.1. You can hear the reloading going on, but you certainly can't hear the engine noise. Yes, that happens when Wargaming screws up something when they do the updates. And it appears that we'll probably get the engine sound back sometime during the next couple of games. Oh, let's just pull back on the aim a bit there because it's a bit too close for my liking. I think that was actually another of Wargaming screw-ups, that the aiming is so close. Okay, he's trying to get a shot on the Barask in the centre. Well, 171 hit points from Splash, and well, he's certainly excited that building because all the logs are now jumping about. Yeah, they're still jumping about. Okay, he's lining up another shot. There's the Barask again. And the dancing logs. Fires around in. Oh, I think he expected that Barask to keep going, and he didn't. But the logs are still going. Which is very weird. Yeah, sometimes Wargaming screws up the updates so badly that, yeah, you get dancing logs. We did have a telegraph pole in the sky one time, and that round hit the building. So, yes, you can see up high, it actually was headed in the right direction, but unfortunately hit the building. Okay, over on the west side of the map, we've got a Challenger, which is a British tank destroyer, Tier 7. That's out. Lands right next to him for 126. That was a good shot. About to fire another one in. That's out. Standard reload time for the M44 is normally 19.08 seconds. But it appears that Talon's managed to get it down to about just over 15 seconds. And you can see a nice direct hit there he managed to get on the Challenger. Rounds out the A43. He actually aimed that one behind him, thinking the A44, sorry, not A43, A44 was going to reverse back a bit further. He didn't. And now we're back to the centre line because there's a super Hellcat behind that bush. And it looked like he took the round, but I think that was a round from one of his teammates in the S51. And Talon's round went to the right. So he's gone back to the Challenger. He's fully dialed in. Round's out. Oh, direct hit again. This time round he managed to get 217 hit points and he's got some stun assist. Going back to that super Hellcat, too tempting a target. Very light armor on Hellcats. And he's killed him outright. Brilliant shot. Okay, we're looking for a target. There's a GV a bit further up, but he's going to go for the KV2 instead. He's dialed in. How's that? Direct hit, 204. Track the guy. Oh, that was the GV dying. Our 87 got him. In the centre line we've got a VK3002M, but he's disappeared, so we're going back to the heavies. Lost sight of the KV2. He's furiously checking the board, trying to find something he can shoot at. There's the KV2 again, but he's now behind the building. But the VK has finally come into view, so he's trying to lead the target. Rounds out. Oh. Well, he stopped suddenly, and that means that he missed him, but not Talon's fault because he was anticipating the guy would keep moving and he didn't. Sometimes you just have to lead a target and the target stops and you miss altogether. But there's a nice direct hit there for 208. He's racking up the damage, already over 1,000. And just coming up to the 5-minute mark. With 7 tanks up on the enemy, so he really is wrecking them. Okay, Emil's retreating. He's backing away, but he's using the building for cover. And normally when that happens, I fire around at the side of the building to splash them. Now, if Wargaming were to bring in the changes they're suggesting, that won't have any effect in future. Simply because... Oh, and that looks like that Scorpion died to our S-51 just before our shell arrived. But yes, it wouldn't have any effect in future because the splash would be so minimal that it'll have no effect. And that T-28 is now dead because there's a super Hellcat behind him. Unfortunately, that shell landed behind him as well. Because that gun will only fire forwards and to an arc of, I think it's 78 degrees either side. Or maybe I'm wrong, it may be 45 degrees either side. Okay, there's an enemy M44 making his way up there. Just knocked the tree down just as the shell arrived. And I think yes, he may have splashed him. Because he's lost some hit points, he's down to 20 now. And he's decided to go gung-ho. He's going for the shotgun. Rounds out. No, lands well behind. Wasn't enough lead on that target. Yep. That M44 is determined to try and go in and shotgun one of our guys. Unfortunately, it didn't work out so well for him because the ARL-44 and our team got the kill. And there's only one enemy left. And supposedly he's somewhere in that area. There he is. Rounds out. Long flight time. But he gets the kill. Which ends the game with a win. And that's the end of the first battle. A nice sum of damage. Let's have a look at the second battle. The second battle is on the south spawn of Minsk. And it's me, yes, Bigger Stickers in the M44. Okay, we're missing the sound of the engines yet again. So it's obviously something that Wargaming has done. Has screwed up the sound. Yes, they're ruining our, not only trying to ruin Arty's games, they're trying to ruin our enjoyment of the replays as well. Well, as you can see, I'm headed off down to the east side of the map, and the thing here is to actually try and avoid knocking over this car or any of these lampposts. So I kind of reverse in, like that, gingerly, and now I'm nicely in the corner. But just because I'm in the corner does not mean I'm immune to being hit. Now, there's a KV-1 coming up to that junction. And I fire just as he gets close. But all I do is damage his tracks. So, first shot done. VK3601H out in the open. Not the best place for him. That's out. That's a direct hit. That one definitely touched him. Just have to wait and see how much damage it's doing. That M4A1 seems to be using the derp gun on the Leopard. I'm trying to land around near the Leopard to stun him, and just as my round goes in, he gets taken out and derped. But we see the VK coming to sight again. You can see where my shell impacted. It was on the top, near the turret, right at the front, on the right-hand side of the vehicle. Well, he's lucky because that shot hit the roof of the building. But over on the right-hand side, we can see a T1 Heavy has made his way out, and he's going towards the monument. Rounds out. That was a little late. And as a consequence, the shell landed behind the target. Yes, sometimes you misjudge how fast they are going, but this guy doesn't appear to be very keen to actually go any further, because he knows there's a Cromwell up ahead of him. This time round, I hit him for 141. Try to get my aim on. So he knows that something is ahead of him, firing at him. He can probably work out the direction of shot. Rounds out. Another direct hit right on his front, and he didn't like that one. He's now trying to work out my precise position by firing down the arc. And you can see those shells are aimed at me, not the Cromwell. Rounds out. Another direct hit. He's getting really upset now. That was 164 hit points. He's aiming in my direction. Oh, he got me. serves around. That hit target. Rounds out. Another strike. Hits the front of him. Tracks him. He's still trying to work out where I am. No, he didn't hit me there. I'm going to fire another round in. Oh, he hit me! And I hit him back and killed him. Well, I'm just going to move slightly, just in case he passes the information on to his teammates to say, I'm in the corner. He was firing blind, but he hit me twice, and I've lost, well, 2/3 of my hit points. More than 2/3. And you know what that means. If you get hit twice and lose 2/3 of your hit points, you're on for a Stark's medal, so long as you can kill at least 2 enemy vehicles. Well, I'm going to relocate altogether, and I'm actually going to move down to the other side near where the M44 is. Now, normally I don't set up next to any other Arty because it's not only bad form, but it's much easier to spot. But I'm going to be sitting a little further back, and the reason I'm doing it is because there are some enemy tanks that I can probably take out from this position. Going for the 59-16, rounds out. Oh, just before my shell arrives, the shell from a T-78 takes him out instead, so I missed out on that kill. T-78 was actually over on the west side of the map in the centre on the main road. Now, somebody was seen in that corner, and yes, he was there. The M4A1, I knew from the minimap there was somebody in that general area, so I just guessed that he was probably still there, and yes, he was killed. Now, I'm guessing that there's an Arty somewhere over here as well, or a tank destroyer. So I'm going to try and ruin their day by firing a round in, but it falls short. So I'm now going to try and blind fire some of these bushes. Got plenty of ammo at the moment, 22 rounds. Rounds out. At this point, I noticed there's an AMX CLC. And he's relatively close, but the building in front of me is actually too close, and I can't get a shot over the top of it. But there was an M4A2E4 up the other end of the map, a rear tank, and suddenly I see the Hummel come into sight. He was spotted. There was an Arty in that corner. I was right. The M44 has been killed, and there goes the Hummel. So I've now got 2 kills, and technically I qualify for a Stark's, but I have to be alive at the end of the battle if I want to get it. Okay, changing position again. Yes, I am getting close to that Arty. Not good, really, but I have to be on this corner. Otherwise, I'm not going to get shots on the enemy heavy tanks that are in that general area. Now, I can see on the minimap that there was a heavy tank in that area. So I fired a blind shot in the vicinity, and there he was. He was there, but he was just a little further over. And before I can shoot, he's killed. So we're now 3 tanks up on the enemy, looking really good. We could win this, blind firing where the AMX CLC biz is, but nope, didn't get anything. Still 4 enemies out there. The AMX CLC biz, a Dickomax, a KD1, and a Fifi. And yes, I got a blind hit. I actually saw the tracer and I guessed where he was. There was a tracer there. If you run the video back, you can see it. And I guessed where he was and I got a direct hit on him. Firing another one in. Nope, this time around didn't get anything. We've lost 2 tanks in the meanwhile, and now it's 12-10. So we're only 2 tanks up on the enemy. But we managed to get one of theirs back, or at least... I don't think we lost 2 tanks. I think we lost 1 tank, but... Or did we lose the AMD and the heavy tank number 6? I think it was one of those 2. Well, there's one of the enemy. It's a Dickomax. Trying to dial in. Too late there. Just stun him at the moment. Churchill's moving up one side. The KV1's moving up the other. He takes the KV1 out. We're now just 1 tank ahead. Rounds out. I don't think this is going to do anything. No, it didn't. And the Churchill's reached the end of the road. I'm still waiting for the reload to come in. There's the Fifi that I hit earlier, and he's lost quite a lot of his hit points. He's lost 56%, but now he's lost the rest because I got a direct hit on him. Okay, the Dickomax is firing at the Churchill. And I can't hit the Dickomax from here. And he's killed the Churchill 7. And I'm just hoping that that Dickomax is going to move forward and then directly into my line of fire. But we lose sight of him, so now we're in a bit of a predicament because we've got 2 Arty and a tank destroyer. And he's basically our eyes. And without sound on the engines, it is a real bother. Got no sound on the engines whatsoever. But I'm motoring across. I'm going to try and help the Wolverine. If I can, I'll try and shotgun an enemy vehicle. I'm thinking that Dickomax is probably going to come in my direction. And I'm hoping that Wolverine might spot him before I do. There he is! And we know exactly where he's coming. It looks like he's coming towards the front. Now I'm going to sit myself behind this building and wait for him to appear and then shotgun him. But the M44 on my team gets a kill from all the way back at the end of the map, the south end. He's got a kill. He took out the Dickomax. Here he was, just around the corner. There he is. Absolutely masterful shot, but unfortunately the AMX ELC managed to sneak behind us through the west side of the map, and he's killed the other M44. So now it's just 2 versus 1. So I'm doing my best. I'm going to head to the cap and start capping with the Wolverine. Hopefully, if the AMX ELC is at the other end, he won't try to cap because it's just too... he's on his own and he wouldn't be able to cap out against us. And now we've got 2 in the cap. It's really difficult. The Wolverine has set up a nice little camouflage nest. I'm going to get in behind the nest, but I'm then going to back up and... Whoa, got a telegraph pole in my... It's not a telegraph pole, lamppost. I'm going to let him be the eyes and I'll sit behind him and shoot whatever comes towards us. Now, I'm reckoning that ELC is going to come directly towards me. It's the only way he could come. He's running short on time. He's only got 17 seconds left. If he doesn't come directly towards us, he's going to lose the cap. So he has to take the most direct route. And I'm aimed down this road, waiting for him to appear. There he is! He's lined up. He's coming towards us. Yes! Right in his face. And I happen to know the shell actually hit his turret, and I'll prove that later on because I got the battle hits report on that one. Let's have a look at the end of battle results for both games. And here's the end of battle results for both games. And in Talon's game on Fisherman's Bay, he managed to get a second-class tanker, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 15, and he got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And his win rate from that one was 3,691, which is Super Unicum standard. So let's have a look at team score and see where he stands. Well, he did get the highest damage in the game, but no high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool. 1,731 hit points went to Talon. 1,462 went to the Super Hellcat, and 1,430 went to the other Super Hellcat. I think those two guys must have been a bit miffed that the other guy stole his thunder. Well, when it came to kills, it was actually the AT7 who did the best with 3 kills. 2 kills went to Talon and to the UDSO 3, and then the rest had 1 or none. And nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. And when it came to base XP, let's go to that one first. Yep, you can see that it was the Super Hellcat who did the best with 1,249 base, and that's because he was doing spotting. In fact, actually, if we click on his results, we can see, yeah, 2,755 hit points of spotting assist. That's what boosted his XP up, and his win rate was actually less than Talon's, but his because spotting is not included within the win rate calculations, that's why he was actually earning more XP, but lower win rate than Talon. 897 went to Talon, 705 went to the other M44 on his team. He fired 17 rounds in that game, got 5 direct hits and 1 penetration on the enemy, 11 splash, damage of 1,731 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. I'm curious as to which one he penetrated, but I suspect it's probably the Challenger. No, it's not. Surprisingly, it's not. It was actually the Super Hellcat he wiped out. Got a huge amount of damage off that guy. 561 hit points. Must have penetrated the front armor, which is very, very weak on the Hellcat. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 2, did 81 hit points of damage assistance and 303 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. If only he got more stun assist, I think he might have been up there with the Hellcat when it came to XP. On a premium count, he earned 34,803 credits from the game, and after ammunition resupply took away 26,218 credits. He received 1,345 XP, 8,076 for completing the mission and events, and took away 9,421 experience points altogether. So he definitely was wrecking them, as he says in the M44, and it really was a good game. It was just frantic. He was trying to search for new targets all the time, from one side of the battlefield to the other, and he was racking up a lot of damage. And as I said many times before, if you get a Confederate medal, you're proving that you are doing your best to help your teammates to kill the enemy by sucking all the hit points out of them, even if you don't get the kills. So let's have a look at the second battle, and that was my one on Minsk. And yes, I finally did get the Stark's medal because I was alive at the end of the game. I got a second class mastery as well, the same as Talon. I also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. I got 4 exactly. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. I got 16. I got a Stark's medal because I managed to kill at least 2 enemy tanks, lost 2/3 of my hit points to 2 hits from the enemy, and I was alive at the end. And I got the high caliber as well. This one I did get the high caliber because I did at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. My win rate from that game was 5,007, so a reasonably good game for me as well. Let's have a look at the team score and see where it worked out. Well, I earned 2,049 hit points of damage, and that was at least 20%. And in fact, actually, we can see that the Digamax on the enemy team, their good player, was actually 1,987, so he wasn't that far behind, and he probably thought that he got the high caliber at the very least. And unfortunately, when the battle results came out, he was probably a bit disappointing that he didn't get it after all his effort, and it went to me instead. But I did get the final shot of the game. The third highest damage in the game was actually their Fifi. He was very good. He did 1,304, but it wasn't enough, and he stood there while he was shooting at the Churchill, and of course made himself a very easy target for me. Plus, of course, I did see his tracer because I was looking in all the right places near the cap area, and you shouldn't really try to arty from the cap area if you can help it, because it's such an obvious place to look for tracer. So ideally you should move elsewhere. That's why I hardly ever shoot from the south spawn of Minsk either, because it's just such an obvious place. Try to find somewhere else a little more inventive that the enemy's not likely to see you. When it came to kills in that game, I got the highest number with 4, but the Digamax also got 4. The T-78 got 3, so did the heavy tank number 6, and the AMX ELC Beers tried his hardest. He did get that M44 on our team, but unfortunately for him, I got a very good shot right in his face, and I'll show that shot right now. And you can see the shell actually landed right on his turret, right next door to the gun. So he was completely wiped out, and that was the end of his game. And when it came to base XP, yes, I've got the top in that one as well. So I got the top in all 3 columns. 943 base for me, not over 1,000, but it was enough for a second class. 807 for the heavy tank number 6, and 641 for the Cromwell B on our team. I fired 24 rounds in that game, got 9 direct hits and 3 penetrations, and 11 splash. Damage of 2,049 hit points, of which 1,783 were at more than 300 meters. Now, if I check the results to see which ones I actually penned, I think it was the AMX CLC, yes. Easily went through the turret armor on his tank, not a problem with that. And I suspect it was the Fifi as well, yes. The shell went in through the side of the vehicle and wiped him out. So let's have a look at the rest of the details. 2 hits received from the enemy. T1 heavy penetrated me both times. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged, 4 were killed, and 477 hit points of stun assist of 10 stuns. I also managed to get 45 capture points by the time that the AMX CLC turned up and I killed him. 41,447 credits from the game, 20,723 from personal reserves, 50,000 for completing the mission and events. I think it was the first win of the day, and 112,170 credits altogether. After repair and ammunition resupply, I took away 98,623 credits profit. I also got 1,414 XP, times 2 for the first victory. Same again from personal reserves, took away 4,243 experience points altogether. So yes, I said, take that, you swine. I was expecting that AMX ELC to come driving up that road at high speed, shooting as he was going, but he stopped to take an accurate shot. I think the Wolverine, who was sitting right in front of me, did actually fire at him, and that's what caused him to stop to try and get an accurate shot on the target, and he failed. And unfortunately for him, that gave me the time to line up a shot, dial it in, and wait for him to the perfect movement, the perfect moment that he started moving. I lined the shot up to land right in front of him, and it actually went straight through his turret and wiped him out. So I hope you enjoyed both of those replays, my one on Minsk and Talon's one on Fisherman's Bay. If you did enjoy them, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.